medium and a Reiki master teacher and a published author. So tell us more about you and what you do.
Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate the introduction. Well, I am a psychic medium. I was born this way, and I really didn't realize it until later on in life with the death of my son, Andrew. And when that happened, I released and I let go. I tell people I fell to my knees, my heart broke open, and I just started looking for signs. And some people will call it going bat crazy. But I kind of just let go and released, and I started following signs. And through the process, I kind of learned how to do mediumship. I learned how to open up, how to meditate, to go within. And from there, it's just been an experience, and it's been a becoming for me and a releasing and letting go of all thoughts and ideas and things that have been indoctrinated in like everything in our lives. And I've just found a new way back home.
Cool. That's good. That's good. And were you able to communicate with your son?
Actually, not in the beginning. And actually, that kind of brings up something I actually did for the first time. I heard him physically for the first time. Well, when we say communicate, he communicated with me. He would show me signs. He would turn on the lights in, the dining room cabinet, and he would turn those lights on in my china hutch and things like that. But I physically heard his voice when I was on the catamaran coming back from the sea turtles on an adventure. I took my daughter to Hawaii with me, and I saw this big blue butterfly flying out over the ocean all by itself. And I got chills, and I thought instantly, I'm like, oh my gosh, my Andrew must be close, right? I heard his voice, and he says, now, do you understand?
Wow.
And, and from there, like this whole, intellect dialogue went back and forth. And that actually brings up, that's how I got the title to my third book, which is a mixture, because I write poetry books. So this will be the third book, but it is called Sunshine, and it's SONSHINE. From prison to paradise. And it kind of goes in depth, where I should have been at that day or that time and where I wound up. So he physically took me to paradise physically to kind of get the message across, knowing I'm very literal. So it was beautiful and it was amazing, but that is the communication that we have. And now it's just about me knowing that he's okay, he is free. And, my heart is somewhat free from that. I mean, as a human, I still get into the emotion of, grieving the child that this body bore, and that still catches me up. And today's actually the anniversary, the fourth year that he's been gone physically from this world. Today is that day.
Oh my goodness.
There are no coincidences. And he's had me know that. And this is why he had me, do the hair, the makeup, because he's like, Mom's not going to cry today because she's got makeup on her face.
Well, I'm crying for you.
So, thank you. But, that's not to say that I haven't been on and off, but I honor the emotions when they come. And I try to express deep gratitude. And it's beautiful. It's just a beautiful process. And I have learned through this process, excuse me, that for me, I'm starting to develop a teaching about grief from my own experience. And I'm getting this thing together. It's called Polished by Grief.
Polished by Grief.
Like a stone, you can't ever wear it down. This grief is there, but you can polish it and make something beautiful. And what I have learned from my experiences, my guides, is that grief is just the trapped emotions of love and joy that we have for the soul that is no longer in the physical. And as humans, we can hug, we can kiss, we can talk, we can communicate, but when you can't do all that, all this grief and all this is stored up inside us, and we have to release it somehow. The way I release it is through my writing. So we all have to go within and find whatever unlocks that passion, that love. So that's what grief to me is all about, because you never get over it. You just go through it.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
And
I
then
thought you were going to say the title of the book was Now Do You Understand?
no, actually it is called Sunshine, because
Sunshine.
my poetry has always been like a release valve for me, a way to kind of clear out energy. And with most healers, your spirit has to walk through the fires, has to, to swim the waters and the torrents of the ocean. And we have to be able to come out of that. So I have been through many different storms and all types of things, but spirit uses that. And we can help pull people out because
Wow.
we've safely navigated through. So that's the way my soul has done. So when I was younger, I was 8 years old, and I wrote my first poem after a fight with my brother.
Mhm.
And that's called Love and Hate. I'm going to recite that for you by memory.
Okay.
Love and hate are our emotions. Love is love, and sometimes in potions. Hate is hate and very fearful. Why can't we all just be cheerful? Love is love and hate is hate. I hope someday we get it straight.
You wrote that at 8?
At 8
That's
years old.
pretty good.
Right. So that's when I quickly learned that, I mean, not then, but I learned over the years that my poetry is channeled. So I'm a channel for the divine, and poetry was always my way to release, to let it out, so it didn't bottle up and infect me. So my first book was called Fade.
Fade, Power of
And
Love and
that's
Hate.
Poems of Love and Hate. That's correct. And so that kind of walks you through, like, from childhood through young adulthood and dealing with all of the situations and scenarios I had and kind of the angst of that. And then after the death of my son, Andrew, I birthed Collateral Damage. He was in the Navy, and I really don't talk about his story, but just the poems of the grief. And it is really raw. It is dark. It is heartfelt and just grabs you. But that's how I express myself. That's how I deal with my grief. So the third book that I have, it's coming out soon. Actually, it'll be out on or about just right before Veterans Day, which I think is wonderful.
Because he was a veteran.
Absolutely. He was a Navy vet. Yes. And so what I love is the fact that it is called Sunshine, Sonshine. And I don't have a copy with me, but it goes through, and talks about Andrew, who he was as a person, how whatever led him to his, suicide did not define him as a person. That one moment will never be what defines him. What defines him is his light and the way he continues to shine, not only to guide me, but to guide his children through
Wow.
this beautiful life. Yes.
He has
So,
children, so that's
yes.
cool.
And they're night and day. One's a boy, one's a girl. One of them has his giggle, and the other one has his like hee 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 little maniacal laughter. So it's beautiful to see his light traced in their smiles, in their faces.
Yeah. How wonderful. And you're a teacher.
Yes, I am. I teach Reiki. And also, I love teaching Reiki. I love gifting my Reiki to those who are sick, who've experienced COVID, or are going through a lot of hard times healing the grief process. I know grief sometimes gets stuck behind our hearts and balled up. So I love to gift my Reiki sessions, but I do teach it as well.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay. So you're doing all of this. That's great.
Yes, that is my purpose. That is who I am here to be. And for most of my life, up until he passed, I just honestly believed everybody knew things and everybody could tell when, things were, looking at me and you're telling me one thing, but I can hear another. I just thought that was normal and that everybody had that ability, but
They don't.
Right. So
Okay.
it's been a learning process.
And do you have a website where people
I
can go?
do. Mediumadelita.com
Okay.
is the website. The books can be purchased there, as well as, they can have Reiki sessions. They can book a reading if they need to. You can learn all about me. And then if you need to get a hold of me directly, you can reach me at Adelita@mediumadelita.com. That is my email address. So
And
I just look forward to,
mediumadelita.com is your website?
yes. Yeah. So
Okay.
they will know how to spell my name.
Do you want to put that up on the chat just in case?
Absolutely. Hang
Right.
on a second. Okay, so oops. Is that working?
I'm not seeing it. I think I don't see it until you actually hit the return at the end of the message.
Interesting. It's not coming up for me. So it's just
Okay.
mediumadelita.com.
Mediumadelita.com.
Yes.
Okay. For some reason mine worked, but okay.
Right.
Well, what am I forgetting to ask you, or what else would you like to tell us?
Just that I am grateful for any exposure or anything that you can do. I want to help as many people as I can.
Okay.
And I appreciate your time.
Okay. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.